In today's session, we'll go through this function setup manager, system related configuration. Okay, last session we discussed about what is the function setup manager, what purpose we can just use this application in the system environment. And today what we'll do is we'll see just how to through this function setup manager, just we'll understand. Okay, just okay. Just let me take few points. From functional setup manager, what activities we need to perform before we start with the project we'll be learning. And once we're done with that, we'll start with the primary ledger creation. And we'll create the accounting calendar and enabling the currencies and chart of account creation. What are the rest of tasks need to be performed to complete the primary ledger configuration, we'll go through in the today's session. Okay, first we'll look into functional setup manager. Okay, fine. Functional setup manager, FSM. So here, when you start working with the functional setup manager, first what we have to do is we have to enable the offerings. We'll enable the offerings and we'll create the project, create implementation project and system auto generates task list, and we can assign tasks or offerings or options to team members. Then we can start with the system configuration. Okay. Basically, these are the points we are going to see from function setup manager. Later, we'll just come across some other task activities called as how to do the rapid implementation and the data uploads and exports and imports will be discussing. Okay. So through functional setup in functional setup manager in the fresh environment, by default you don't find any offering. Okay, already we discussed in last session what is the meaning of offering and options. The financials, procurement, HCM, PPM, all these product families we call as offerings. Okay, so which offering we are going to implement for the client based on the scope of the project, we have to enable the offering. After enabling the offering, then we'll create the implementation project by selecting the offerings which are already enabled. Then based on the selected offerings or option, system will auto generate the task list. With the help of task list only, we'll be able to do the system configuration. And here once we done with the implementation project creation, just project creation, we can assign the selected tasks or offering or options to team members, and then we'll start with the system configuration. We'll see one by one. Okay, let's log into the instance. We created one user as a Mayur in last session. Fine. So to navigate to functional setup manager, just click on this user, and here we have a task called as setup and maintenance. Click on setup and maintenance task. Now what are the screen we are able to see? That screen we can say functional setup manager environment. Here if you look into these tasks, we have implementation tasks. So just click on getting started. When you click on getting started, okay, you can see some graphical representation, the process flow, which process will follow when we are doing the implementation the fusion environment. It will be equal to EBS, but you can see few changes. Okay, Once you click on getting started, you can see the implementation, the very traditional implementation process flow, and we'll be able to see all the offerings which are available in this instance. Just click on getting started. Now we are coming to the screen. After login, go to setup and maintenance task. Done. Now under implementation section, click on getting started. Just click on getting started. Here we can see the implementation process. What process will follow when we do traditional implementation. So first we'll be planning. Okay, just we'll be planning entire the implementation with a certain schedules, with a resource. Then we'll do the system configuration. We'll do the system configuration. Then we'll just after doing the configuration, we'll just do the implementation. Implementation nothing but just managing. Just will manage the project and will just monitoring the resource related activities. Once the configuration and everything is done, okay, then export and import. Okay, in the system environment, just you can create the project here. See, configure offerings. See, first we'll be planning for the project, then configure offering is nothing but just will be selecting your offerings. You'll be selecting your offerings, which offering you want to take as a part of this project. Out of that offering, which option you require, that will be selecting. That you can say configure offerings. Once you select, by selecting offerings, you can create the implementation project. And we have scope in the future environment where you can just enter all the setup data in the spreadsheet environment that can be imported into whatever the project you create. Here when you say creating the project is nothing but just selecting the offerings and options, and just will be giving some naming convention for that, which we call as implementation project. So we don't need to think implementation project is nothing but where already setups are done, just a definition. So once the definition is done, you can import the data into project. How to import? Within the system environment, we have a spreadsheets which we can use for the process called as rapid implementation. We can enter the setup data in those spreadsheet that you can load into the system by targeting specific project. That's how you can do it. Or else you may enter the manual manual process, or you may import, or else you can just do the manual configuration. Finally, the same configuration which you have for one project, if you want to move to another project or another environment, you may do the setups, or you may import the setups from spreadsheet to project. The same configuration information, if you want to move to other project or if you want to move to other environment, that could be development or any production environment, for that you can use the export. With import, you can import the setups which we complete in the spreadsheet. With export, specific project related configuration you can export into spreadsheet, that you can import into other project. Then transact. Here there will be some just activity called just will work with the transaction process. Here one more point you can understand: import export not only setup part, even master data and the transactional data also. Okay, the master data also you can import. For that we have concept called as FBDI. And here transact will be doing the testing, then we'll proceed with the maintenance. Once system will go live, we'll be supporting for the client. Okay, the transact process, then client will start using, then the system will go for maintenance where users will be using and they need some support and the period closing activities. This process we know very well. Okay, just here we selected getting started. You can look into this implementation process, and if you scroll little down, you can see all the offerings which are available in this instance. We have multiple offerings here, you can see. So HCM we have compensation management, customer data management, enterprise contracts, financials. Okay, and different different offerings you can see. So if you want to know this offering is offering which features or which options, if you want to know that, just you can place the cursor on this. Just place the cursor on offerings, then you can find the description. So this offering description talks about this financial offering includes assets, ledger, cash cycle, invoice and payments, account receivables, collections, and subledger accounting and fusion tax configuration. All these options are part of financials. Okay, if you want to just get more information on this offering, just you can click on this offering, or else here also we have option. Once you place the cursor, here we have, just place the cursor here, we have one hyperlink called as view related documents. You can click on this hyperlink, or else directly you can double click on this, just you can click on this offering, then it will open up what are the relevant documents we have for the offering. The same, like what are the description system is displaying. Now here you can see different documents are available in the different formats. Okay, different documents are available in the different formats. See here, offering content guide. Okay, this offering related content guide, this offering what content it has. Okay, that you can see the associated features. Okay, within this offering, what are the different features we have from the different options you can see through this document, and set up task list and tasks to do the implementation for this financials offering. What setups need to be completed, all the list of tasks you can see from this. Related business objects means the task is belongs to which area of the enterprise, just it's related to finance or procurement or human resources or enterprise related setup. That classification will be there within that related enterprise applications to work on this entire financial application. So the setups which will be doing, those will be across which different enterprise application. That information you can find in this. Just if you want to look into any document, just you can click on any one of the format. Say for example, I want to see offering content guide. Just click on this, you can download that, you can go through it. Seems to there is in this system there is some format issue. Just I will go with this Excel format. Okay, you can see here in the Excel format all this. Okay, the content guide. Just scroll down. Okay, the content guide, like for each and every application, manage account receivables, balances, etc. Everything you can see in this document. This is how just you can download in the respective format, and you can go through it. Okay, in the same way, associated features you can download in any one of the format, and you can go through it. Just when you are going to work on this instance, okay, you can start doing this, but just this is for information I'm sharing. You can go through what all the documents, you'll get some idea, but just to get some high level overview, that you may go through it, it's not mandatory. Then that's all about getting started. The next task here we have as a configure offerings. Here we can see configure offerings. Okay, configure offerings. Configure offerings is nothing but just as per the project. Okay, our project has scope of which offerings and which options that we have to select in the fresh environment. But this instance is just environment where we are using for training, and many people are using that instance. Already in this instance, almost all the offerings are enabled. Okay, so anyway, just we'll see that as a process. Just click on configure offerings. Click on configure offerings. By default, you'll be able to see like this. Let me minimize. Generally in the fresh environment, okay, you can find like this. Okay, the fresh environment, you can find all the offerings here. Once you click on getting started, what are the offerings we are able to see, all those offerings you can see here, where you have option to enable or disable. Okay, so these are the offerings we have. So when you are working in the fresh environment, so you are going to implement only financials and procurement. In that case, just you can enable financials and procurement. If you look into this enable for implementation, almost all are enabled by different people who are working on this instance. Just for testing they did it. Okay, you can enable, okay, and disable. Fine. So this is how just you can select. Say for example, I'm going to enable financials. Okay, just I'm going to enable, but already it's enabled. Just when you are going to do this first time enabling, once you click on enable, it will expand. Once you click on this enable, this will expand. So here you can select supplier invoice process means payables. That is also already enabled. Expense are nothing but fusion expense. It's equal to I expense as per EBS. And fixed assets. Again, if you enable this, you will be able to implement fixed assets. Customer invoice process nothing but receivables. Collections nothing but advanced collections. Okay, this is how just you can enable. Okay, for and that's how you can set it up. For general ledger, nothing, you don't need to enable. By default, you go with financials, automatically that will be selected. Okay, because since that is a fundamental module and all, system will select automatic. This is the first task we have to do. When we start with implementation and fusion, which offerings we require for our implementation project, you have to go and enable. You no need to enable all which are available as per project scope. You can enable. Once you enable, system will be expanding automatically. Once system will expand from that, these are all nothing but options we can call. So under financials, which options we are going to implement, those you can select. After doing this activity, you can say save and close. Okay, through getting started you can get some overview. You can just go through that what are the offerings we have, and by looking into that documentation what we have for each and every offering, you can get to know what are the features are available, what task we need to complete as a configuration part to implement specific offering. You can understand. Once that is done, based on the scope, you have to enable it. After enabling, just click on save and close. Once this task is completed, we can go ahead and we can create the implementation project based on which offerings we want to opt for our implementation. Okay, just for this activity generally system takes some time, so let it complete, then we'll just move on to implementation project creation. If you have any questions on this, you can ask me meantime.
Lakshman, are these options what we did so far?
Yeah.
Is this a sysadmin role on a overall product level, or an functional configurator who does this?
No, as being a consultant will do that. See, because it's not more into technical. It's not more into technical. This task can be performed by project manager if the project manager has this product knowledge, or else any consultant can do this activity, because it's not all about more into system configuration. Just who is going to just do that initial step on this instance, they can do that. Just selection, that's it. Anyone can do it. It's not like a system administrator. It's not like we'll be doing as a recurring activity or maintenance activity. It's a one time activity. Anyone can do it. Generally this will be done by consultant.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. I have one question here. What is select future choice option? Mayur, you are referring what select futures choice option? Okay, this is all about see if within the option. Yeah, I got your question. When you opened, you have seen that option, right? So within the option, if you want to select specific feature, then you can enable that. Then you can click on that update. It will open all the options. From there, you will be able to select whether you want to implement a specific feature or not. Accordingly, you will be able to select. That's all about. Means from specific offering, the futures also you can select by clicking on that edit option. Okay, that's it. So yeah, now just we'll go to this. We'll see how to create the implementation project. Okay, generally when you go to this configure offerings, it takes some time to process if you do some just changes, or if you just touch those section and all, because it has to take update for entire offerings, which will consume lot of system sources. Okay, now just we'll get into this implementation project creation. So here we have a task called as manage implementation projects. Select this task. Now you can see all implementation projects which we have in this instance. These all projects are created by different guys who are practicing on this instance. Many projects. So now we'll go and we'll create our own project. Okay, just click on create. Simple. What we are doing is first click on manage implementation projects, so that system will list out all the existing projects. And to create our own project, click on create. But just think, when we are working for any client, we may create one or more than one. Okay, one or more than one. Or else for financials, we may create as one project to monitor project or finance related implementation activities. For procurement, you may create separate project. Or else if you want to monitor finance and procurement related activities, what we can do, you can create a single project by selecting the two options within the same definition. Okay, it's not mandatory you should have only one, or you should go separately based on the offerings. There is no hard and fast rule. You can create, if you are going to implement four offerings, you may create as a four projects, so that independently you can monitor and control all the project related activities, implementation activities for respective offering. Or else by just selecting these four offerings as a part of single project, you can create one project. Okay, anything we can do, there won't be an issue in the process point of view. Just click on create. To create the new project, click on create. Okay, so here we can just give the project name. So I'll give the name as, say, DLF implementation project. So automatic system will default code and description. Then you can just assign this project to a respective person, for project manager, or who is going to handle this project. So by default, system is taking our current employee name, current username. It is taking as just for current user, system is assigning this project. We'll accept, and you can give start date and do tentative finish date. Okay, you can give this information. Then click on next. Here hardly we are giving just name. If you want to assign this project to some other person, okay, what you can do, just click on this drop down, click on search, and search for the user. I have one user called as LAXMAN. Select and say okay. So this project I assigned to person called as LAXMAN. Done. Then click on next. Click on next. See, now here you can see all the offerings which are already enabled in this environment. For as per our project requirement, we can select the offerings. See here, I'm just going to select financials. Select financials. Once you select the financials, from financials, which options you are going to implement. So I'm selecting supplier invoicing process means payables, expenses means fusion expense, nothing but I expense as per EBS, and fixed assets we want to implement, say account receivables. Okay, and all these and all you can just select it. Anyway, just you can select these options also, since as a part of finance I'm selecting. Okay, done. Okay, so BI, business intelligence reporting related. Okay, sub options we have as a part of option called as financial business intelligence analytics. And if you want to take procurement also as a part of this project, you can select procurement related offering, and within that offering options also self-service procurement, SSP, and supplier portal, and sourcing, procurement contracts. Okay, as a part of procurement, you may just again you can select supplier invoicing process also, and procurement and spend build intelligence analytics. Done. Okay, and that's all. This is how just you can select based on the requirement. Okay, say like just I taken as a scope of we are going to implement financials and procurement. Accordingly I selected financial and procurement options, offerings. Within that I selected relevant options. Now you can say save and open project. Just click on save and open project. Now system will create the project based on offerings and options. Whatever you selected, system will create the task list. Means here you selected supplier invoicing invoice process. That means this is one of the option, nothing but accounts payables option. To implement accounts payables, whatever the configuration we have to do, all the configuration related setups, it will create as a task list. Now you can see here our project is DLF implementation project, and within that project we have only two offerings, procurement and financials. Just if you expand this offering, financial offering, you can see task list whatever system auto generated. Just click on this expand. You can drag this right side. See, these all are created by system based on that selected offerings. I'll just expand this define invoicing and payment configuration. See here, say define tables. So these all are the tasks. These all are the tasks. Okay. Wherever you see this go to task icon, okay, wherever you see this go to task icon, that you can understand as a that is a task, and wherever you see this expand option, that we call as a task list. So here all are auto generated based on the options we selected in the respective offering. I have one question here. So the question is, can we enable or disable these offerings at any time? Yes, we can do that. Anytime you can go and disable. If you disable, see now we enabled and we selected into this project. After selecting into this project, you can go and disable. If you disable, there won't be any impact on this project. Already selected into this project, so there won't be any impact. Then that offering or option which you are going to disable, that won't be available for next project creation. That's it. Okay, there won't be any impact. Once it is created into project, then once you create select at the time of project creation, you are selecting based on that system is creating the task list. System already created task list. Now you can go and disable. There won't be an issue with this project. If you disable, you cannot create the project, whatever the project you deselected. So only that would be impact. For on existing project, there won't be an impact based on the selection. Already we create a task list. That's how it works. Fine. So see here, you can see this is how just system already created the task list for all the applications, all the options. Here we call as options. Done. Now you can set up the status to this project. Now here you can see this project status is not started. So since we started working on this project, you can set the status for this project, okay, by clicking on edit. You can click on edit. If you want to reassign this project to someone else, you can do that. If you want to assign to multiple people also, you just will be able to do it. Okay, you can just go and change the name, and that's how you can assign. Task you can assign to multiple people, project to specific person. Okay, here I can change the status to in progress. Okay, the project status is in progress. Done. Say save and close. Now you can see the project status is in progress. Now here you can see this offering status also. So this entire entire financials I want to assign to one consultant. I can select like this. I can go and assign. Select this entire offering, or else if you don't want to assign the entire offering, open this. So you want to assign only payables implementation. Invoicing and payment configuration means payables implementation to specific resource. In that case, you can select this you can select this option and you can click on assign tasks. Click on and you can assign to task. Here, to whom you want to assign, just click on this, select and add. So the payables I want to assign for one of the existing user called as, or employee called as, say Mr. Prem. Select, say apply and done. Say save and close. And fusion expense I want to assign to another resource. Click on assign, click on this. I want to assign for the resource called as Kiran. Done. If you want to see to whom this is assigned, this invoice payables is assigned, you can just expand this. Here you will be able to see that is assigned to whom. All those activities are assigned to the resource called as Prem. The same way, if you want to see for this expenses, so you can click on this expand. So again expand this. You can see this is assigned to resource called as Kiran Kumar. Okay, this is how you can assign. Or else, will that user get any notification? No. That won't be there. If you set up that kind of environment in the system where you will be configuring this everything with the SMPT server through workflows and all, yes, in that way it can be done. But generally, it's not kind of very regular recurring activity. So implementation assignments and all will be one time. So that is the reason that kind of option may not be required in this process. Fine. That's how you can set it up. And overall financials also you can assign to another resource, so that wherever we assign the relevant option to specific resource, their automatic system will assign one more resource. That means that specific area will get assigned to two resources. So just I'll assign this to another resource also. Say I selected here financials. I'm going to assign to user called as LAXMAN. Done. So now just if you expand this, okay, here if I click on this, here you can see this task is assigned to only LAXMAN. But already few options we assigned to other resource, right? There if you expand this, one second. Or else you open this. So take this option. Your system showing this configuration, this setup is assigned to already Prem and one more resource. The one more resource is LAXMAN. You can see here. If you place the cursor, you can see. Means this is one task is assigned to these two resources. In the same way, you can assign one task to multiple resources also. Specific task you want to assign to one resource, simply you can select the task. So task name is manage procurement agents. You can select a particular task and you can click on assign task and you can assign to respective resource. This is how just we can assign. Okay, once the resource will start working on the project, they can update the status. Just you can click on that status icon. Here you can change the status saying that in progress. Means we started working on the finance offering. Just you can set the status. Now here you can say procurement is not yet started. Okay, I have one question here. All users are predefined, or we need to create as a like Mayur user. No user is predefined. Just it's we have to create. However, we create as Mayur. Yes, correct. Okay, because how the Oracle knows what the resources are going to work in our project, right? So which resources are going to work for our implementation project, whatever it may be the offering, you have to predefine. You have to define before creating the project. Okay, or else create project, then go and create the users, then you can assign. Okay, anything is possible. We have to predefine. We have to create it first. Okay. Whether Lakshman able to see the other tasks assigned to, yes, exactly. For user called as Lakshman, if you assign this, see for which user will assign application implementation consultant and IT security manager and system administrator role. Okay, those users, or else at least only if you are going to work on implementation, if you don't need access to like IDM, minimum the role should be assigned as a application implementation consultant. To which user application implementation consultant role is assigned, they all will be able to see this, all the tasks, all the options, or all the offerings, or all the features. But already they can see the task is assigned to other resource. Hope they won't take any initiative to work on that. You cannot control this. Just it's all about just keeping some, just tagging which offering or which options or which tasks need to be performed by which resource, so that once they complete the task or when they are working on the task, they'll be able to update the status, so that and the overall project level will be able to see the completion or progress, how much percentage is completed, how many tasks are there, how many tasks are assigned to the users, how many tasks are not at all assigned to any resource. All the managers or somebody will have a great visibility on the entire overall project. So control, you cannot do that. Okay, you cannot do any control on that. So who has the roles, those people will be able to access to this environment. Okay, that's how we can do it. Okay, so this is how we can create the project. If you have any questions on this discussion, you can just ask me, we can discuss now. Any questions on this enabling offerings and project creation and task assignments to the users?
So this enabling offers means it's configuring the product, right? Lakshman?
Configuring the product, no. See, configuring the product will come as a next stage. So
Oh,
now
okay.
just we are just selecting which product we want to configure.
Okay.
Yep. Enabling is nothing but selection, just to get a selection for further just implementation, configuration, we are keeping ready. Once you enable, then only it will be available for project creation. Once you create the project, then next step would be configuring.
So let me ask you this thing.
Yep.
So let's say if we buy a product, Fusion product,
Hmm.
and when you buy a product, so the person who is going to install that product onto our environment
Okay.
will can't be default as whatever the offerings that we required for that project can be defaulted, or how it's going to be.
No, when we are installing this product, when we are installing this product, okay, the DBA can have option, but there will be some challenges if you are selecting and deselecting the product level, because you are not selecting one offering that may have some dependency, or else that task may require in some other area. So that is the reason generally implementation time that DBA never do that activity. So complete product they will be installing based on our license will start using. Okay, based on the
Okay.
license we'll be using, but there is no like normally like which product need to be installed into our server, they can do it. But again there could be some challenges what we have to think. But while they are installing, they don't have any option need to which need to be enabled, which need to be disabled. That has to be decided by the resource who are going to do the implementation. That no need to do in that level. That will be just done in the level of this project creation. Before creation of project, we'll select and we'll do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other? I can see some questions in chat window. Let me go through it. All users, LAXMAN, able to see other tasks. How to assign one task to multiple users? Could you please explain? It's very simple here, as we did how we assign the same way. See here, I'll expand this. Define automated invoice processing configuration. Already this task is assigned to Prem and Lakshman. You can see here. The same task I want to assign to one more user. Select again same. Click on assign tasks. I want to assign to other person. See here, you will be able to see the task is already assigned to Prem and to Lakshman. If you want to assign to other user called as Kiran, I can assign. Apply. I want to assign it to Ramesh. I hope this name is there. Bob, Ramesh Bob is there. Done. Click on done. Now this task is assigned to 4 users, 4 resource. Okay, this is how we can do it. Now you can see here, Kiran Kumar by default system is showing. Apart from that, there are 3 more resource whom we assign this project. If you place cursor there, you can see Prem, Ramesh and Lakshman. Okay, so this is how just you will be able to see that one task we can assign to multiple resource. It can be task or it can be task list, means list of tasks or complete option or entire offering. Anything we can assign. On top of it, you can assign the project also to specific resource. Okay, but project assignment we can do for only one resource. Generally we know that would be project manager, so we can do it, but rest of all can be assigned to multiple. That's how we can do it. Done. So now you can see our project in the same just projects list. The top you can see us. That's it. Anytime, just if you want to have access, just simply have to click on setup and maintenance. Okay, and you can select okay implementation projects. If you select implementation project, see here you are not able to see our project. The reason is that project is not assigned to Mayur. If the project is assigned to Mayur, directly you'll be able to see that project. Okay, so you can go to manage implementation project. You'll be able to see if I change that project assignment to Mayur, whenever you just select that implementation project, you'll be able to see that instead of going to this manage implementation projects every time. What I'll do is I'll just change the assignment, project assignment. To change this name, click on edit. Just go to the selection, give the resource name as Mayur. Click on search, select, say OK, then click on save and close. Now the project is assigned to Mayur, then click on done. Now just I'm refreshing. Okay, now anytime if I just take this navigation as user, click on setup and maintenance, and if I hit this tab called as implementation projects, so what are the projects are assigned to Mayur, you will be able to see here. That's it. You don't need to go to this manage implementation project to pick or to select your project out of the projects list. Okay, just to have some question from someone. Can I use someone else project and assign to me, or it's there any security? We can use the see, we can assign to anyone. But it doesn't matter what role they have in the organization. Okay, if the resource is part of this instance, you can assign anything to anyone. It can be project or task or offering or option, anything you can assign to anyone. There is no security. That is not there in the system. Just you can assign to anyone. You can do that. Thanks. Fine. Now, okay, this is all about project creation. Now, what we have to do, we have to start with the system configuration. Okay, we have to start with the system configuration. So, to create the primary ledger, okay, we'll look into primary ledger configuration. Primary ledger. So we know very well the same process will follow as EVS. To create the primary ledger, what we have to first we have to create the accounting calendar, right? We'll say create accounting calendar. The next task would be enable currency, the functional or foreign currencies, whatever you require in the entire business process, you can enable. Then we'll create the okay. Here we'll create the create value sets. Okay. In EBS, while you are creating the structure, after creating the segments, you can create the value sets. But in Fusion, it's a mandatory. First, you have to create the value sets. Without value set, you cannot complete the segments creation. That is the reason. First, you have to create the value sets. After creating the value sets, create chart of accounts. And as a part of chart of accounts only, just will create the segments. Create segments within chart of accounts. Definition will create the segments. While you are creating the segment, for each segment we have to select the value set. We have to map value set with respect to segment. And after that, here in system process, what we do is we have to create chart of accounts instance. This will discuss when you are working on it. Okay, you have to create the chart of accounts instance. Then finally we'll deploy our chart of accounts. We'll deploy our chart of accounts. Once this is done, we can create the segment values. Before that, you should not create. If you create, what would be the issue and all, we'll be discussing in this environment. Okay, this environment means in the Fusion environment. Fine. So next, what we do, we'll create segment values. Okay, we'll create the segment values. Then we'll create primary ledger. Okay, after completing these activities or these tasks, we'll discuss the other activities which need to be performed and what would be sequence and all. Okay, done. The first task is we'll go and create the accounting calendar. How to create the accounting calendar? Just very simple. Okay, so after logging, once you log into the instance, go to user and go to setup and maintenance. Once you hit on this implementation projects, you'll be able to see what are the project is assigned to this current user. Then click on this. See here, if you look into this, project, you can get some high level information. Unassigned tasks are 439 and assigned tasks are 911. And this project's progress you can see here. Okay, the different representation. Here system is saying 33% not started. This is in progress. 67% of project in progress in terms of system configuration, which we updated against the project. The same status system is taking here. Fine. So to complete any setups, to do any system configuration, so click on your project, implementation project. Click on this implementation project, it will open. You can see what are the offerings you have as a part of the project. Now what is the requirement? We want to create accounting calendar. To create accounting calendar, simple. Here you can search for the task called as accounting calendar, or else you have to take the very lengthy navigation here, not required. So here we have a task field. There you can just give this kind of just percentage you can give, and actual name would be manage accounting calendar. What are the tasks you are preparing? Almost all the tasks will start with the prefix as manage. Manage accounting calendar, manage currencies, okay, manage chart of accounts. This is how just every task, every activity, every function will start with manage. Now our requirement is we want to create the accounting calendar. For that, just you can search with the name called as accounting calendar. You don't need to type full name. Accounting calendar. Task name is accounting calendar. Click on go to task. Click on this search. So out of these two offerings, if any, just let me mute. Fine. Okay, out of these two offerings, what if you have any task called as manage accounting calendar related task system will display. Now you can see here manage accounting calendars, manage accounting calendar means the same task is available from procurement as well as financials. Even we know in EBS also, when we are performing some kind of setup, same function will be available from different applications also. Okay, the same way here also you can see the same task from the different offerings, but since we are working on financials, we'll go with the financial based task. Here just click on manage accounting calendars task.
Lakshman, it's Mishwari. Sorry for stopping you.
Please.
Yeah. So in R12, the concept of accounting has been changed to ledgers, right? Ledgers and sub-ledgers. So how come, like,
Sorry?
Hello?
In R12?
In R12, accounting calendars has been segregated into ledgers and sub-ledgers, right?
No. Accounting calendar not. See, we have a different products. In 11A or R12, concept is same. 11A we are calling as setup book, R12 we are calling as primary ledger. Okay, the GL we call as general ledger, and other than GL all applications we call as sub ledger. Same concept is remain in Fusion. There is no change in that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Fine. Just we select a task caller. Just first what we are doing. Just you know to type the full name. Just partial you can write the name, then give percentage. Click on search. You can find the task called as manage accounting calendar. So against financials, whatever you have, you can select it. Now here system is showing manage accounting calendar. This is a task name. If you click on this go to task icon, okay, if you click on go to task icon, it will open the page where we can create accounting calendar. And before that, if you want to know the detailed navigation, how to navigate to this task from the selection of options offerings, what you can do is here we have some show hierarchy arrow mark. You can just click on this. It will give you the complete navigation. If you want to manually, if you want to go to this navigation, this task, this kind of navigation you have to follow. First you have to go to financials. Then within the financial there will be one task list called as define common application configuration for financials, and you have to select define enterprise financial, okay, enterprise structure for financials, then select define financial reporting structure. Under that you can find the task called as manage accounting calendar. Just I'm clicking on financials, it will expand and it will be showing the complete navigation. Financials, under financials, okay, define common application configuration for financials. There we have to expand define enterprise structure for financials. There we have to select define financial reporting structure. Under that just select define calendars. Under that define calendars task list, we have a task called as manage accounting calendars. Instead of going with this lengthy navigation, simply you can search and you can find. Okay, this is a task we are going to use to create accounting calendar. Just click on this go to task icon. Okay, simple. Just search for the task. If you want to see the navigation, you can do like that. Otherwise, directly you can select manage accounting calendars. Then click on go to task. Just click on go to task icon. Now system will open accounting calendars definition screen. To create new calendar, click on create. To create new accounting calendar, click on create. Done. So this is a screen where we can create the accounting calendar. When you compare EBS accounting calendar definition with Fusion, there is a lot of improvement in this. You no need to enter manually each and every period. System can auto generate accounting calendar. Okay, the first period or the rest of the years, whatever, I mean the current financial year, rest of financial years, whatever you want to define. So it's completely automation. You have to give the specifications. Based on the specifications, system will create the accounting calendar automatically. We'll see how to do it. Just you can provide the name. So for this, I think we taken project name as DLF. I'll go with the same DLF, because since the name will accept very limited characters, I'm going to write as a short name, just DLF ACC CAL accounting calendar. Here I may write as DLF accounting calendar for USA. So when you are practicing in this instance, don't try with India. Okay, India localization related one bug we have in this instance. So don't go with INR or India based case study for your testing. So other than India, you can try with any country, it is working fine, because there is some bug in this which is reported by Oracle. Fine, just this is the name I am giving. Write description and start date. Select start date. Your calendar, accounting calendar, should start from which date? I'll select, it should start from, since US financial year starts from 1st. Okay, the first one is Jan 1st 2016. And period frequency, set what are the frequency of period you want to create the accounting calendar. I'm going to select monthly period I require. And here you can select separator, means between the date, month and year, what is the separation you require, that you can select that. Okay, just the indicator you can select accordingly. Just it will segregate the values. And what should be the format? Okay, what should be the date format? If you go with, okay, this month 3 characters and year 2 characters, this is how system will be generating. This is the one just we generally prefer to have as a part of accounting calendar. Otherwise you can go with a different formats are available, but whatever system default, that is the right format, we can accept the same. Now coming to adjusting periods, how many adjusting periods you want to have for your accounting calendar? These are the different predefined options we have. Accordingly you can select. Okay, I'll go with one set year end. Done. So these are the specifications I am giving. Once I click on next, system will create our accounting calendar automatically for current, whatever the starting date you selected from the date to year end, means 1 year. If you select starting date as for India, if you are going to do implementation for India, of course for India there is no solution from Oracle as of now for this Fusion product. The reason is the Indian localization, no solution available from Oracle. Okay, we cannot use this Fusion product for India operations. Right. So for example, if I am going to create the calendar from 1st April, I'll just give the 1st April. April means first I have to give this date format is first month, then date and year. I'll give 4/1/16. Then once I say next, it will create from April to next year March. Means it will go up to 1 year. Okay, based on that the period, the frequency, whatever we are selecting. Now here I selected 1st Jan 2016. Then it will create 1st Jan 2016 to December 31st 16. Okay, that's how system is going to create. These are the basic specifications we are going to give: start date, frequency and format and separator, and adjustment period frequency, how the adjustment period need to be auto created. Just click on next. Okay, it will create the accounting calendar. You don't need to go and enter through manual process. Okay, system will auto generate. Done. You can see last period as a adjusted 13th period. Okay, I given 1, so system will auto generate. Okay, I have one question here. That means no even single I guess single Fusion implementation project done in India. Yes, 100% right. Okay, if there is any product, if there is any module which you can implement and use without where taxation is not involved, in that case client can use it. Okay, no fusion implementation as of now in India. Okay, many people are doing, many companies are doing, not for Indian clients, overseas clients. Fine. Okay, it's not bug. See, there is some HCM bug, HCM based bug, HCM, human capital management, HR and payroll related bug we have in this instance. That is the reason you cannot practice. Okay, you see, once if the bug, if you apply the patch, that will be resolved. That will be resolved. Okay, because see, the bug we have based on the currency. Simple point, let me tell you in this way. So I got a question saying that is that bug for all the modules? Okay, not directly all the modules. The bug with INR currency. The bug is with INR currency. We know based on the currency specification only the payroll and everything that statutory related process they'll be building. So if you select currency called as INR, so you'll start facing that bug. Okay, so that is just I am recommending for your practice. You can go with other than INR currency. Nothing till now, no solution from Oracle. Okay, no solution from Oracle for localization, India localization. Okay, that's all about one question. Other question is, can you give me the bug details or how does it impact account? See, I'm not telling accounting calendar. Vijay, I'm not telling about how the bug will impact the accounting calendar. I'm not telling that. There is no issue. You can create the accounting calendar for India. You can create. Okay. Further process where the currency involvement will come into the picture, there will be just facing the issue. Okay, with the calendar, no bug. You can create for India. Okay, so that is the point. And my done. Okay, sorry, not modules for all versions. No, for all versions not. Okay, the bug is existed in the current version which we are using that instance. I'm talking about that. Higher versions, later versions, no bug. Okay, no bug. You can just do the implementation for your testing purpose, not for real business purpose, since localization is not there in the fusion for India. What about India localization? Same. Okay, got it. Done. That's all. I don't see any questions. If you have any other questions, please just post in the chat window. We can discuss, or else you can ask me directly by unmuting yourself. Okay. Fine. That's all. Okay. We created accounting calendar, so you can just look into this. Now you can say save and close. See here, there is no tab called as next year and all. Once you save and close, then system will open up one more tab called as next year. If you click on next year, automatically it will create one next year as a part of our accounting calendar. Click on save and close. Done. So if you want to create future years, what you can do is select your accounting calendar, just click on edit. Now here you can see add year tab is enabled. Click on add year, it will create year for 2017. Now you can see only for 2016. Click on add year, it will create for 2017. Done, created. Okay, this is how just we can create you can add the years to existing calendar with a single click. Done. Okay, we created accounting calendar. And the next task is enable currency. As we know, in EBS environment, what are the currency we require as a functional or foreign, we have to enable. If you don't enable the currency, you cannot first get in the ledger creation. If it is going to be foreign currency, you cannot see in the transaction process. So that's how we have in the EBS. But when you talk about fusion, by default all currencies are enabled. In the fusion environment, by default all currencies are enabled. Which currency you don't require in your business process, which currency you won't use in the business process, those currencies you can go and disable. That's how they're given. By default, in the fresh environment, all the currencies you can find as enabled. Which currencies you don't require in your business process, those you can go and disable it. Anyway, we'll just go to the currency screen where we can see as our currency is enabled already. But remember, all currencies are enabled. You no need to enable any currency in the Fusion. Okay. We'll go to the task called as manage currencies. Task name would be manage currencies. So it's got this instance is refreshed. Just you can go to manage projects, click on, just open this project, search for the task called as currencies. So task name you can see as a manage currencies. Okay, manage currency. The same task is available from procurement and financials. If we are working on financials, you can select the same. Even you can go with any task. Okay, just we need the task called as manage currencies. That's all. Just select task called as manage currencies. Here you can see the same task, manage currencies. Click on go to task icon. Click on go to task icon. So now find your currency. All currencies are available as a seeded values like EBS. So USD. Then click on search. Here you can see the currency. You can see already it's enabled. Don't think this is enabled by other people for practice. By default, it will be enabled in fresh environment also. That's all. If you want to create new currency, you can create it, but all currencies are available almost. Okay, this is how just you can just make sure that it's already enabled. Is somebody just modified this naming convention? Okay, say save and close. Done. Okay, created. Now we have to create the value sets. Okay, so before we go and create the value set, just we'll go with a simple chart of account structure. We'll have a segments called as company. We all know very well like what base will create this finalize the chart of accounts. That discussion is not required. Just let's see how to create the segments called as company, department, and account. For our testing purpose, just we'll go with these three segments. Okay, so for these three segments, we'll go and create the three value sets. Okay, we have to create the value sets. Currency is already enabled, you don't need to do anything. So we'll go and create the value sets. To create the value set, just search for the task called as, the task name would be manage chart of accounts value sets. Just you can type the name. I have one question here. I'm moving out as I got some urgent. Please send me the recording. I'll post questions if I have any. Sure, Jenny. I'll be just sending this video after once we're done with the class. I'll do that. Fine. So here, just to create the value sets, search for the task called as manage chart of accounts value sets. Task name is manage chart of accounts value sets. Here now we'll see the entire task list. All will be in the sequence only. We can go ahead in that way. The task name is manage chart of accounts value sets. Value set values. Okay, value set or value set values, anything you can select. Here anyway you can see all the list of tasks one by one. So this is sequence we have to follow. First we have to create the chart of account value sets. Okay, then you have to create the chart of account structure. Then we'll create chart of account structure instance. Then you can create chart of account value set values. This sequence we have to follow. First what we have to do, we have to create the value sets. As we plan here, for the three segments, we have to create the three value sets. Okay, just click on go to task icon. Okay, click on go to task icon. And this is a screen where you can see, if you want to see existed value sets in this instance, simply you can click on this. Before that, you may type for the as a search criteria. Okay, just click on create. To create the new value set, click on create. How we are just navigating here. Okay, in our project, we open the task list. Let's search in with this name. There you can see all in the sequence of activities. Just click on go to task icon. Okay, click on go to task icon. Click on create. Here we can create the value set. I'll give the name as DLF. Just value set code. Code I'm giving as DLF COM company. Then here I can write the description as a. So just let's write full name. Fine, that's enough. DLF company, just code. Write the name as DLF company. So this value set we are creating for which module? Since it's going to be chart of account, part of chart of accounts, select module as a general ledger. General ledger. So select validation type. Say independent. Same process what we follow in EBS. Value data type I'm selecting as character, and value subtype as a text I'm selecting, and the maximum length for the values which will be entering within this value set. Say maximum length I'm giving as 4, so that I can enter the maximum number of values up to 9,999. Okay. Sure, you may enable just zero fill number, but this function you will find as not working in this environment. Just give that, then say save and close. Okay, just click on save and close. Now we'll go and create one more value set for department. Click on create. Give the value set code as DLF company. So I'm sorry, it's already existed, so error message DEP, and the name is DLF department. Part of which model this value set we are going to use in which application related process, general ledger. Validation type, say independent. Value data type character. Value subtype is test. I have one question here. What is a module? Why is module is mandatory field? Anyhow, we're gonna use this in all financial modules. See here. Yes, as you said, correct. We are going to use this in finance, all the modules, all financial, not only all financial modules. Okay, all products. Simple statement is okay. Seems to net there is some issue.